Welcome back to our channel. Today we bring you the exciting things in the February 20th episode of The Young and the Restless. Under the dim light of the Genoa City evening, dark secrets gradually reveal themselves, bringing with them emotional puzzles, intrigue and paradoxical decisions. The story begins with Audra secretly meeting Holden in a private room, where there is only dim lighting and the walls are filled with whispers. Audra sits across from Holden, her eyes filled with suspicion. She has been carefully following Damien's journey, who she thinks has achieved success too quickly in a process that she suspects is full of tricks. Holden, who is used to the complex intrigues of Genoa City's power circles, hesitates for a moment before responding. He reveals that Damien and himself are still in the city, with no other plans. In fact, Damien is trying to make amends with his mother, while also trying to build a lasting relationship with Nate, a connection that is both beneficial and dangerous for all involved. Damien's actions are not simply an attempt to make amends, but also a sophisticated strategy to seek acceptance and trust from those around him. However, his desire to bond with Nate as a half-brother makes Nate even more uneasy. Damien's past is filled with shady plans, cruel actions, and unexplained betrayals. Nate, who has experienced loss and hurt, is even more worried as he watches Damien move closer and closer to his life. Not only does he doubt Damien's true motives, he also fears that the ghosts of the past will return, causing unforeseen consequences. Nate's suspicions extend beyond Damien to those he loves, especially Amy, whom he is determined to protect from any threat Damien may pose. Nate stands at the crossroads of past and present, carrying deep anxiety in his heart. He recalls old wounds, the damage caused by untrustworthy people. Damien's attempt to bond with him as a brother not only awakens painful memories, but also makes him wonder if Damien truly wants to change or is just someone who seeks to take advantage of his feelings and trust. Amy, with her inherent innocence and optimism, becomes Nate's only support. He knows that, in a world full of intrigue and danger, Amy is the only one who can give him hope and faith in a better future. Therefore, Nate is even more determined to protect her from any threat, even though the ghost of the past still lurks behind every step. Meanwhile, in Paris, the city of light and love, a dramatic love story is also taking place. Sally, a hot and passionate woman, cannot hide her jealousy when she sees Billy and Phyllis becoming closer. Although Phyllis does not appear directly in Billy's daily life, she is always present through calls, messages, and sophisticated tricks to interfere in the relationship between Billy and Sally. Every time the phone rings with Phyllis's name, Sally feels her heart being squeezed. She recalled the past, when Billy had been immersed in complicated love affairs, and feared that Phyllis would awaken the evil instincts and mistakes that Billy had made. Sally's anxiety came not only from Phyllis's external actions but also from the cold and calculating feeling behind each text message and each call from this woman. Billy, with a dreamy heart and sometimes absorbed in temporary emotions, was subjective when looking at his relationship with Phyllis. He thought that, for Phyllis, it was just an act of seeking attention, with no real intention of being a threat to Sally's love. However, Billy's subjectivity made Sally even more stressed and worried. Not only does she see the subtle calculation behind Phyllis's sweet words, but she also senses a larger conspiracy, a conspiracy to steal the love and happy life that Sally has built with Billy. Sally's anxiety increases when she encounters unexpected clues, a secret text message, a secret call, or even a letter containing hidden threats. She knows that if she doesn't stop it in time, everything may be too late. Phyllis is not someone who easily takes her eyes off her target. After a long night of tossing and turning with a passionate dream about Billy, she becomes even more determined and reckless. That dream is not only a desire for love, but also a promise to herself that she will not let anyone, including Sally, stand in the way of the path she has chosen. With a reckless lifestyle and boundless confidence, Phyllis begins to plan meticulously. She constantly texts, calls, and even interferes with Billy and Sally's meetings. Every trick that Phyllis uses is not only to attract Billy's attention but also to sow conflict, doubt, and instability in Sally's heart. Phyllis is ready to bet everything, turning Sally's love into a war full of calculations and dangers. As love affairs and relationships begin to become more complicated, Genoa City and Paris gradually become the setting for an emotional and dramatic play. Audra, as a meticulous investigator, continues to monitor every development of Damien and Holden. She knows that if Damien's secrets are exposed, not only he but also those around him will fall into a spiral of trouble. Meanwhile, Nate becomes increasingly wary. He spends time thinking about the clues Damien leaves behind, and tries to contact Amy to make sure she doesn't get caught up in any dangerous relationships. Nate senses that, although Damien seems to be trying to make amends and change, his past still threatens the present. Nate's inner conflict leaves him facing a difficult decision: should he trust Damien's change, and can he protect the people he loves from the sophisticated plots of others? In Paris, the love war between Sally and Billy becomes more intense than ever. Sally, despite her determination, cannot hide her fear of losing Billy, the person she has worked so hard to build a strong relationship with. Every time she saw Billy smile when receiving a text message from Phyllis, her heart felt like it was being stabbed by sharp knives of jealousy. She told herself that, in order to stay happy, she had to act immediately. In a tense conversation, Sally warned Billy about Phyllis's subtle intentions. Billy, for the first time in months, began to feel the seriousness in the words and actions around him. He gradually realized that life was not just about fleeting romantic moments, but also a journey of sobriety and determination. Not stopping at just calls and texts, Phyllis began to use more sophisticated strategies to achieve her goals. She arranged unexpected situations where Billy was faced with offers that were hard to refuse. At a dinner party in Paris, when everyone was intoxicated with the romantic atmosphere, Phyllis found a way to appear next to Billy and give him suggestive advice. Phyllis's words confused Billy, but also opened up new feelings in his heart. She not only used words but also created a seductive atmosphere, where all the boundaries between love and temptation became blurred. With her inherent recklessness, Phyllis turned each meeting into a playground of temptation, making it increasingly difficult for Billy to refuse her invitations. As time went on, the sophisticated plots of the characters made the flow of events unstable. Audra, with a sharp mind and a cold heart, continued to follow Damien in Holden's every move. She discovered many surprising details, from secret meetings to shady deals that Damien made. Each new piece of evidence adds to the puzzle. Damien is not just out to make amends, he is secretly plotting to gain power and control over the relationships of those around him, including Nate and Amy. Nate is increasingly worried. He knows that, despite his efforts to protect Amy, Damien's past will always be a lurking shadow. During his long, anxious nights, Nate wonders if he will ever be able to rest easy knowing that, out there, ruthless plots are waiting to take away what he loves. He decides that he will not hesitate to use any means, from contacting old friends to seeking help from unlikely allies, to ensure that Amy will not suffer the pain Damien has caused. In Paris, Sally and Billy's relationship also takes a dangerous turn. Sally realizes that if she doesn't act now, everything she and Billy have built will soon fall apart under Phyllis's cunning tricks. She decides to face the truth and stand up for her love. Billy, in the midst of confusion and conflict, gradually realizes that life is not only about sweet moments but also about difficult decisions between love and temptation. He begins to question himself and tries to distinguish between true love and the trap of infatuation. With the pressure mounting from all sides, the atmosphere in Genoa City and Paris becomes heavier than ever. Audra, after days of investigation, has gathered a series of evidence that Damien is not simply someone looking for redemption. He seems to be secretly building a plan whose ultimate goal is to gain power and control over the relationships of those around him. She knows that, if not stopped in time, Damien will become a great threat not only to herself but also to the entire Genoa City. Meanwhile, Nate is also standing on the threshold of a big decision. He must choose between believing in a Damien who can change or accepting the reality that his past will always threaten the present. With each passing night, each broken promise, Nate's trust is increasingly shaken. He decides that he will not let the past control his future, especially when loved ones like Amy need absolute protection. In Paris, the situation between Sally and Billy also enters a phase that requires decisiveness. Sally, despite Billy's repeated warnings, feels a growing fear as she realizes that Phyllis is not just playing tricks but is planning to penetrate deeper into their lives. She knows that she must face the facts head-on to protect everything she holds dear. Billy, for the first time in months, begins to sense the seriousness of the actions of those around him. He recalls the warm moments with Sally and wonders whether he should continue to let blind trust rule him. Billy's internal struggle is now not only between love and temptation but also between the past and the future. As the pieces of the story gradually come together, Genoa City and Paris become vivid pictures of love, betrayal, and power intrigue. Audra, determined to stand by nothing, continues to pursue her goal, to unravel the secrets behind Damien's actions and protect those who are unable to protect themselves. Nate, despite his worries and doubts, does not give up hope that true love can overcome all the traps of the past. He knows that, in a world full of intrigue and betrayal, only honesty and courage can bring light to the future. In Paris, Sally and Billy stand on the threshold of fateful decisions. Sally, with a passionate heart and determination to protect her love, does not hesitate to confront Phyllis, who she believes is trying to intrude on her happy life at all costs. Billy, gradually realizing the value of true love, begins to sober up and question his own future. Phyllis, with her bold strategy and unmatched confidence, continues to play her game, not letting anyone stand in the way of her chosen path. The dream of passionate love is not only a personal desire but also the driving force that drives her to launch the most daring moves. Turning every moment into a strategic chess game, where intrigue and emotion intertwine to create a vivid picture of humanity. Amidst the chaos of complicated relationships, a question always arises: is there a single path for all those caught in the storm of the past and present? Audra believes that the truth always has a way to emerge, even if it is hidden by layers of intrigue and deception. Nate, despite his heart full of old wounds, still hopes that true love can conquer all. Billy, who is at the crossroads of faith and temptation, must wonder if he can find himself again before it is too late. And Sally, with all the courage of a woman who has suffered loss and betrayal, is still determined to protect what she considers the soul of life, true love. Audra continues her journey with the sole goal of finding the truth behind all the conspiracies. Nate, despite his anxiety and doubts, still persistently hopes for a better future, where old wounds can be healed by faith and true love. Stay tuned to our channel for more surprises and drama in the upcoming episodes.